we're gonna learn active and passive part. And if you write a sentence, you can choose whether you can use active voice or passive voice. So there is two ticket. You can choose active voice ticket or passive voice ticket. So what is different between active voice and passive voice? You can choose from two choices, and I will explain what is different between active and passive and what is the form we can use for active and what is the form we will use for passive. Okay, so first I said if we're a writer, if we write one sentence, we can choose active or passive. So we call that active voice and passive voice. Usually we can see active voice like I love you is an active voice, and passive voice is you are loved by me. So what we usually hear is active voice for sure. So we express like I love you because we want to emphasize that what is important, the action that I love you is very important in that sentence, and the one who act is important in the sentence. However, if I am loved by you, or you are loved by me, we are emphasizing what is happening. So, I killed the mosquito. In this sentence, the action that I do is important. But if I write the passive sentence like, oh, mosquitoes are killed by me, then I am trying to describing what's happening. So the passive is more focusing on what's happening, and active is more focusing on what he or she or someone is doing. Action is more important in active. So go back to the sentences, we will see the example. So I will say, oh, I teach you, and you can say in different way. I teach you is an active form which emphasize action. But if we go to passive form, we emphasize what's happening. Oh, I teach you. Oh, you're taught by me. I'm emphasizing the happening, right? So we call that passive form. So in other description, we will say if the subject is active, doing something, actioning something, we call that active subject. And if just something happened to someone, then we said passive subject. Passive subject has passive attitude, so something happened to the subject, right? So with the active subject, of course, the sentence is active, and with the passive subject, of course, the sentence is passive. So we have seen this, why we use active or passive form. And then go next example. I play the drum. Then in this example, let's make the passive form not seeing this part. Yeah, I play the drum. I play the drum. I play. Yeah, verb action is important in this sentence, but I want to make drum important. The drum is played by me. Then we are emphasizing drum or what's happening. Drum is played by me, right? But if you want to still emphasize that I play the drum, I am actioning something. If you want to say that, we can say still I play the drum. So if I say I teach you, you can say you're taught by me, right? If I say I play the drum, you can say the drum is played by me. So this describes the same happening, but in a different direction, right? So some same meaning, but different type of sentence. You can always choose this two from you can always choose from these two options. One option, active options or passive option. So this is it. And as you can answer, the passive form is more complex. Be plus PP of the main verb. Past participle. Okay, we will explain past participle in the next part. Past participle in the next part, so don't worry. So when we make a passive form, we can know that BPP. We can know that we have to make the form into be verb plus P past participle. And then be plus participle. We have write this many examples. So like, do you remember other past participle? Yeah, there is play, sung, taught, right? This kind of past participle, like I am trying to make you guys this is very, very everywhere there is a PP part, so I want to explain this in a very easy way. So usually you find this past participle in two ways. First, when you choose the type of sentence. Oh, I want to write passive voice, then you have to use BPP. And the secondly, only there is two important function, and second function is that you want to specify the tense. I mean, specify the timeline of the action. So for example, I have been in Paris. I have been there. We want to specify that I have done something. From past to the present, from past to the present, I have finished or I done something, so we call this perfect tense. Perfect tense means that I have finished something during certain period. So if you see have PP, that is describing specific period with little emphasis that something is done during the period. So what I'm going to say is that the PP always exists. PP would usually exist before be plus PP, or other way, have plus PP. And have plus PP is for the timeline. Perfect, done, finished. So we call perfect tense. And then BPP, right? Active to passive. Why do we go from active to passive? Yeah, if you want to emphasize other parts, express what's happening more than action, we can use passive voice sentence. And then we have two ways to use PP, right? Two ways to use PP, but this is just for explaining that if you find PP plus B, it means it works for the passive voice, and if you see have plus PP, it works for the tense timeline. So for example, you can see this part, and then in last part, if you saw the passive language like I was taught by my teacher Lina, then you can go back to the active part. If you want to emphasize the action, then you can go to the active part. So for going active part, we have to check three things. First, main verb. We can check main verb in the PP part, the PP part, and tense. Is it past, present, or future? You have to, yes, make it same, because two sentence meaning is same, but just emphasizing different things, right? And the last thing is who acts, the active subject. So we have to check these three things, then we can make active sentences.